back to my channel. If you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Dee, aka The Messy Perfectionist, and on my channel I like to share inspirational personal growth life tips and more. I also have started sharing some tutorials, which I plan on doing a little bit more, involving some of my artistic projects and crafts and sewing. Lately, I've been sharing a lot about my personal health journey, and particularly my VSG experience, or vertical sleeve gastrectomy, which I had 9 months ago. And so in this video, I am going to share with you my 9-month post-op update. I have not done one of these full updates since 6 months post-op. I did recently share a video on kind of why and some of the struggles that I've been having. If you haven't had a chance to watch that and you are interested, I'll go ahead and I'll throw a card up here. But anyway, for this video, I will share my weight loss progress, some of the inches that I've lost, and any more challenges and things like that that have come up over the last 3 months. So if any of that sounds good to you and you are interested in my journey, please stay tuned. So if you guys saw my last quick upload, I think it was like 1 minute and 10 seconds or something like that, I did share in that kind of the weight that I've lost in total, and also wanted to share that those clothes that I've had in that bin from months ago when I did kind of a closet clean out after 40-pound loss, that those clothes now fit, and I was very excited to see that and share that. So I have lost about 74, 75 pounds in total since starting my VSG journey. And that is from the beginning when I had to lose some weight to begin with, you know, the pre-op diet and all that stuff, and then through currently. So I lost 7 pounds during the last 3 months. So definitely the weight loss has started to slow down. I did go through a bit of a plateau there where I just would not lose anything, even though I hadn't like drastically changed my diet or my movement routine. I've been pretty consistent with that, and I have upped my game in regards to exercise where and when I can. I'm definitely noticing that I am more toned. I definitely feel stronger. So now I'll talk a little bit about the inches that I've lost and kind of how my body has changed shape a little bit. In that last upload, I did mention that even though I am currently at a heavier weight than I was back when those small clothes fit me, they actually fit me looser now. So I know that my body has definitely been changing shape and that I am toning a little bit more. And I did lose a little bit more in inches over the last several months, and I'll kind of talk a little bit about that in just a second. I definitely noticed the toning in my quads more than anything else. I've always had thick legs and muscular legs, so that is where I can feel it and see it the most. I've also had people come up to me that are in my regular gym classes like Body Pump randomly tell me that they can see a huge difference in me and that I'm looking good and all those things. So it's nice to kind of hear that confirmation, because as many of you know, when you look at yourself every day in the mirror, it's kind of hard to see that difference. And I still have a disconnect with my mind's eye of how I view myself versus what is reality. And what I mean by that is, in the clothing, I will hold up that clothing that was, say, in that bin, and I was like, I'm still too big for this. There's no way that this is going to fit me. And then it does. And same thing when I've done a little shopping, if I'm at the store and I'll hold something up and I'm like, mm-mm. And in my sewing projects, I'm made a couple of shirts recently that were just way too big on me, because in my mind I was like, I can't possibly be that much smaller, so I better make this side. And then now I have to take in like the couple of things that I have made in regards to apparel. So it's a good problem to have. I'm not complaining. It's just acknowledging that kind of disconnect, and it's helpful when other people that maybe don't see you every single day, or you know, see you in the mirror every day like you do yourself, can notice those changes. It's a nice kind of confirmation from the outside. Okay, so now I'll go over the details of the inches that I've lost over the last 3 months. So off of my waist, I lost another inch, bringing me to a total of 13 inches lost off of my waist. My hips, I did lose another inch as well, bringing me to a total of 11 inches lost. My thighs, I didn't lose anything on my thighs, so I'm still measuring out at a 5-inch total loss. Same thing with my biceps, that didn't change, so 5 inches loss off of my biceps. I did lose another inch off of my chest over the last 3 months, so that brought me to a total of 10 inches off of my chest. And when I measure my chest, I measure up here or underneath the bust. So I try to be consistent because sometimes I'll forget and I'll take a measurement and it'll be really different. So I am measuring from this part of my chest around, above my bust kind of. I did lose an inch off of my neck, so that brought me to a total of 3 inches lost off of my neck. Let me scroll down here on my notes. And I did lose another size in my clothing. So the size jeans that I fit in now are a size 12, which was the smallest size that I had ever previously been for a very short time back in like 2016, 2017, kind of before my hip completely degraded and in between my surgeries and then my high risk pregnancy and all those things. And I did have some junior clothing that I had purchased back then in size 13 and 14 and also a 15 in junior size as well. My 15 junior size jeans are very loose on me. My 13, 14 junior pants, which are in that short little video I did, fit me well, but even they are a little loose. And my plus size 12 fit pretty good. There are like one pair of the 12s that I had from Torrid still fit very tight, and they fit tight back then too. So it's okay. My other 12s fit really comfortably, so it's just strange how sizes are in that way, but it is what it is. In regards to food and exercise, I would say that's been about the same. I'm still hitting the gym a minimum of 4 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week, doing body pump 2 or 3 times a week, and doing yoga. I have a recovery yoga day, which is typically on Monday. Our regular instructor had been out for a while due to COVID, so we had some fill-in people and they did things a little differently. So I did have some more active days in there over the last couple months because they were not really doing yin yoga. They were doing a vinyasa flow, or there was even a day where we did yoga sculpt. And let me know in the comments below if anybody has ever done yoga sculpt. That was tough, where you're kind of doing the poses with weights. And that brings me to kind of the next thing with health challenges. It's just my biggest difficulty right now has been my shoulder, my right shoulder, which I am waiting to see an orthopedic surgeon because my shoulder is all kinds of messed up. I had x-rays and MRIs. I'm sure I've mentioned it before. So doing things like the yoga sculpt, like when you're doing triangle, trying to lift a weight over and while you're doing triangle pose is just impossible for me. And any kind of shoulder exercises that I'm doing in body pump, I can't do with any weights. I try, and the instructor's really cool. She actually came over and she took my weights away from me because she knows that I will push myself and she can see me struggling. So I don't want to like pop my bicep like a sausage like the doctor had suggested from lifting too much weight. So that's kind of a bummer because I feel like I have, again, the drive and I have this like inner want and heart of an athlete, and yet my body protests. I did try a cardio blast class recently, and that was really bad for my hip. Even though I tried to do the low impact stuff, honestly, my hip has been hurting ever since, like it hasn't in a while at the joint. I know the difference between muscle pain and joint pain. So I did have a discussion with the trainer, who was also a physical therapist, and we talked a little bit about it, and that's probably not the class that I should do. And she also warned me to maybe stay away from the elliptical, same thing, because that movement of that joint, but to listen to my body. And that's all any of us can do, is always listen and honor your own body, where you're at on your journey currently right now, and sometimes that day, because one day you might do really well with something and then the next day you might have a big challenge. It's just, that's the way it goes, right? It's just, we have to learn to be gentle with ourselves and meet our bodies where we're at currently in our journey. I know I've mentioned in the past that about my thyroid things, none of that has changed since I've last discussed it. I am still currently off of any thyroid medication, which just kind of still blows my mind. Like I've mentioned, my weight loss did stall and slow down once they took me off of that thyroid medication. So I do think that that had an impact in it, as well as I've had some female hormone fluctuations and things like that that I've definitely noticed. And I also think that has been a challenge in my next thing I was going to discuss, which was kind of my mental health challenges. Having some really overwhelming anxiety feelings over the last couple months, kind of peaking over maybe 2 weeks ago it was. And I did reach out and I talked to my therapist about it a little bit, and it did help. But it was really hard. It was really hard for me to acknowledge that I was struggling in that area again. And just that those are things that sometimes we think we're through and then we're not through. And I know I've talked about that before, so I don't need to get into a ton of it now. But when dealing with those anxiety flare-ups, just kind of coming back to basics and realizing where is this kind of stemming from. And though I know some of it is like the hormonal shifts that we can go through and all of that, I really attributed it to some old stuff getting triggered from, say, constantly weighing myself every day and not seeing progress, or seeing the scale go up and down a few pounds every day was kind of, it's for crazy making. So just going back to once a week, and also measuring in other ways, which is how I feel, measuring my body measurements monthly, and just remembering why I did this in the first place was a big helper for me. And then just being consistent with waking up and doing some meditation and being gentle with myself during body movement, and not comparing myself to others and others' progress, because we all know that that doesn't help us, and we are all guilty of it, I think. And it's a continued challenge that I have to go through like the rest of us. We're all human, right? I mean, it's just part of life. And when we have things we have struggled with emotionally in the past and not liked about ourselves, it can come around again. And I've said this before, but when things come up, it just means that we have more work to do around those things. It's not bad, it's not good, it just is. And sometimes we just have to accept where we are currently on our journey. Feeling a lot better now overall, just kind of refocusing and also making more time for myself. That's also things that I enjoy to do for myself outside of having to do the regular day-to-days. And though I enjoy my time with my daughter and all of the things we do, I had kind of stopped doing those things that I enjoy doing for myself. And so I started crafting a little bit more now. I'll probably share some of those things. I started making some Halloween type crafts already. I love the fall. I know I've said that before. And it's so hot here in Arizona in the summertime that you just want that cooler weather by the time August is coming around. But I figured I would start my crafts now. And so they are ready for October time. And then I am also planning on reopening my Etsy shop and kind of not maybe doing some of the merch that I had available, which came through a drop shipper, just because the cost was as high as it was for a lot of those products, because shipping and I basically was losing money on those products. So I am going to start selling maybe some of my crafts, some of the art that I have done, and also my quilts that I am working on. I just love the way some of them have come out, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with the world and hoping someone else will love them as much as I do. And if not, it's okay, because I love them and I'll keep them. It's all good. So those are kind of the things that bring me joy and really helped deal with, I think, the anxiety level that I was experiencing over the last couple months, and especially those couple weeks ago where it was just really loud. And if you deal with anxiety, you know what I'm talking about there. So that's kind of it, guys, for my 9-month post-op update. All in all, I am doing really good. I am feeling good other than some of those physical challenges that I've had. I am happy overall with my progress. When I, really think about it, I've met my first 2 big goals. My first goal was, as far as weight loss, to lose at least 50 pounds on this journey. And now I have lost about 75 pounds. And my second big goal was to fit into those clothes that I had in there, to get back down to the smallest size I had ever been, and I've met that goal. And another goal that I has kind of been progressing along the way is just to feel healthier so that I can feel better in my body and not be in as much physical pain and be able to keep up with my daughter joyfully. So I do thank everybody out there who has stuck around. I appreciate your support so much. We are all in this together. Please leave me a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found any of this information useful. It helps me so much in continuing to make this content available for you guys and helps with the YouTube algorithm and lets me reach more people and hopefully broaden that audience. So I hope everyone is well and you have a wonderful rest of your summer, and we will be talking soon.